Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the review of the Bergara Stoke in 223 with a 16.5 inch barrel. Part 1, if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link to it up there, but when we went over it in its original stock and we talked about how it was designed for people of a smaller stature and that I would be taking it out of that stock and putting it in a chassis, which I have done. This chassis is the Vision Hybrid chassis. It's got a MDT skeletonized carbine stock on the back, tier 1 rings and rail, a Maven RS 1.2 scope, and a Stallon moderator up the front with MDT 10 round metal AICS magazine. And this is the format that I have done the accuracy testing that I said I would do at the end of the part 1, where I said we'd test out to see if this barrel action would meet the Bergara Sub MOA guarantee. Now, it's taken me 6 months to get this part of the review out, and there has been a few reasons for that. One of which is down to the gun, 2 of which are down to me. If you follow my Instagram, you'd probably have seen already that I had an injury to my hand. I cut a good chunk of my finger off that had to be reattached and had to have surgery, so I wasn't shooting for a little while, which probably delayed this by 2 months or so. And then I was also shooting the IPRF World Championships over in Colorado, which meant for about a month this got put in the safe and not touched while I was concentrating on preparing for that. But the reason why the rifle has caused a delay in this review is that it didn't initially meet the Bergara Sub MOA guarantee when I was testing it. Now, my testing, I originally had it in the Bergara Stoke original stock, and my intention was I bought 7 batches of different brands of ammo from Winchester, Norma, Seiko, Hornady, Federal, and was going to test those. I was going to do 2 5-round groups in the original chassis, stock, then I was going to put it in the chassis and do a further 2 groups, just to see if there was any change in the accuracy from the barrel action from being screwed into a rigid chassis like the Vision Hybrid versus the original stock. And I immediately started to run into some issues. I didn't get a single group, actually that's a lie, I did get 1 single group out of the 2 that was below Sub MOA, which was the Hornady VMAX, and it shot a .75 group over 5 rounds, but the rest of them were all sitting somewhere between 2 and 4 MOA at 100 yards, which obviously indicated that there was some sort of a problem. So I bought another batch of ammo, a couple of different boxes, and I was taking the moderator off. I checked all the torque settings. I even changed the scope to the scope on my match rifle, the Maven RS4, as well as the monomount to see if it was anything to do with the mounting of the scope. I checked the torque settings on the original scope mounts that I had on here. Checked the base torque settings. Checked everything I could possibly check, apart from 2 things, which was obviously the barrel action itself and the scope base, as I basically got to the point where I didn't want to spend any more money trying to chase the problem. So I contacted Jackal Firearms, who were the original RFD that I bought the Bergara Stoke from, and talked them through the issues, and they said absolutely not a problem, we'll get it arranged with Artemis Outdoors, who are the supplier or the distributor of Bergara in the UK, and got it taken to the Sub Brothers, who are the RFD that do the warranty testing for Bergara in the UK, to have the barrel action tested for its accuracy. About a week later, I had a target sent through from Sub Brothers showing that it did meet that Sub MOA guarantee, and helpfully Bergara do post on their website what that testing procedure is. And that testing procedure is that they will fire 2 groups of Hornady VMAX 223, which is their preferred testing ammunition. And if they both meet a Sub MOA guarantee over 3 shots, it will pass. If one of them is Sub MOA and the other isn't, they'll shoot a 3rd group, and depending on whether that 3rd group does or does not meet the MOA guarantee, it'll either pass or fail, and obviously if both groups that they originally shoot do not meet that MOA guarantee, then it will fail and they will repair or change whatever parts are deemed to be causing the accuracy issues. Now, Simpson Brothers went well over the top with that. They didn't just shoot 2 or 3 round groups. They did test numerous batches of ammo, and they all pretty much came back with a sub MOA group. So I knew that the problem was likely to be the rail. So when I got it back, I ripped the rail off and I put a tier 1 rail on, and I bought some new tier 1 rings while I was at it, just to try and lower the scope down, as it was originally sitting quite high above the bore line. And I took it out to do a second batch of ammo testing. Now, not wanting to again spend a lot of money, this does all come out my own pocket, which isn't very deep. I only bought 4 premium batches of ammo, which were the Hornady 55 grain VMAX that it was tested with, the Seiko 50 grain soft point, the Seiko 55 grain soft point, and the Norma Tip Strike 55 grains. And I put it straight into the chassis, as that's how I was going to be using it. And like I said, I didn't want to waste any more money testing different batches of ammo just for the sake of this review. So I've got some of the results here. I've got the targets here annotated alongside the video, which I'll be displaying on screen for you. And I've got the best 3, 4 and 5 shot group from the 3 5-round groups that I shot with each batch of ammo, excluding one, which I'll come on to later on, as well as the best, or the average, sorry, of those 3 5-round groups. So we'll start with the Seiko 50 grain. The best 3-shot group was a .298. Best 4-round group was a .402, and the best 5-round group was a 1.108. The average of the 3 groups that I fired were 3 shots, .577, 4 shots, .805, and 5 shots was 1.170. Moving on to the Seiko 55, the extreme spread of those 15 rounds was 113.8, and the standard deviation was 26.7. Moving on to the Seiko 55 grain, the best 3-shot group was 1.476, the best 4-shot group was 1.966, and the best 5-shot group also was 1.966. Moving on to the averages, the average 3-shot group was 1.970, the average 4-shot group was 2.162, and the average 5-shot group was also 2.162. The extreme spread was actually quite a lot better on the Seiko 55 grain, which didn't reflect in the accuracy. It was 56.9, and the standard deviation was 15. Moving on to the Hornady VMAX, the best 3-shot group was 0.620. The best 4-shot group was 0.780, with the 5th shot also falling within that 0.780. The averages of those for the 3-shot groups was 0.828. For the 4-shot was 1.106, and I only got 2 5-shot groups, as I used the Hornady VMAX to get an initial 0 on the rifle. So I only had enough ammo to shoot 2 5-round and a 4-round, and the average of the 2 5-shot groups was 1.059. The extreme spread was 123.9, and the standard deviation was 33.2. Now, the Norma Tip Strike is where I've ran into my second issue with the Bergara Stoke, and I'd like your opinions and theories in the comments below with regards to this. Now, the top half of this target here is my 4-round group with the Norma Tip Strike. This was the first round. Down here is the following 3 rounds that I fired. And I stopped on that 4th round as I noticed that when I was shooting it, it sounded different. It didn't quite sound the same as the 3 batches of ammo that I'd shot beforehand. And when I then checked the primers, and I'll put a picture up for you now, there was some quite deep cratering in the primers compared to, again, the 3 batches of ammo I'd shot beforehand. So I didn't feel it was safe to continue shooting that. I thought I'd be pushing my luck. And ultimately the accuracy over those first 4 shots was pretty pants. So there was clearly an issue, I think, with shooting that. Now my question to you is, what do you think was causing that? Because I have stripped the bolt. There was nothing wrong with the firing pin. The bolt, the internals of the bolt was clean and well lubricated. The throat and the chamber were clean. There was no carbon build up or anything like that could be causing some sort of seating issue at this end, which could be causing the primer to be struck harder by the firing pin. And the other thing to throw into the mix of all of this as well is that when I was shooting the Hornady VMAX, one round in every 5, so pretty much one in every group, I had a light strike or no strike at all on the primer. I've done a bit of research myself regarding this, and the Hornady I think can be explained away by there was a bad batch of Hornady ammunition that came out that was getting light strikes with the 223, and I'm pretty certain that that is what's going to have caused it. I am going to buy another box and try and get a different batch number for the Hornady to double check that, because that also wouldn't make a lot of sense with one batch of ammo having light strikes, the 2 Seikos running seamlessly, and then another batch of ammo having issues with being struck too hard or too deep. But yeah, so let me know your theories below as to what you think might be causing that. I'm going to have a couple of specialist eyes look over it as well and see if they can figure out what the problems might be. There probably will be a part 3 of this, because the other problem I think I had when shooting these groups was I was getting an extreme amount of mirage off of the moderator up the front here. So I'm going to try and get hold of a decent mirage cover for the moderator at the front here to test again and see if those groups, especially the 4 and 5 shot groups, do improve, because the 3 shot groups were certainly good enough, but I was slightly disappointed with the 4 and the 5 shot groups. So to finish off, apologies once again that it's taken me 6 months to get this second part of the review out to you guys. Like I explained, there was some issues, but the issues that I did have that were with the rifle were sorted out by Jackal Firearms, Artemis Outdoors and Simpson Brothers. There might be a part 3 to this video. If not, you'll definitely see this coming up in more videos as and when I get some answers as to what the problems were. You can also hit that subscribe button down below if you would like to see any of my other content, precision rifle shooting, or other reviews of other products. But until next time, thank you for watching. Take care.